What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream, and today we'll be looking back at yesterday's quality victory against Newcastle. Apologies for being late. I can see some of you battering me in the comments. Somebody said you're an inverted YouTuber. I like that one. You know, inverted everything, left backs and all of that. So yeah, I'll give you that. That's 1-0 to whoever said that. But we're here, better late than never, people. And listen, big up to everyone who tuned in for the watch along yesterday. Brilliant watch along as always. Massive numbers. So yeah, big up to everyone. And yeah, it was a great performance yesterday. And It's bittersweet at the moment watching Arsenal, because when you see a performance like that, half of you is just delighted, you celebrate, you're happy, but then you have that question mark in the back of your head going, where was that performance in the second half against West Ham? Where was that performance against Southampton in the second half and against Liverpool in the second half? So yeah, it's bittersweet, but all we can do is deal with what we're dealing with, and let's hope by some miracle that we get an opportunity to still put our hands on that trophy. Let's see anyway, people. But hey, we'll talk about it in more detail today. Big up Simon Paul for becoming a member. We'll do a member stream this week, maybe Thursday or Friday. So definitely look out for that. Big up to man like David Moyes. Moisey. Declan Rice, Mikel Antonio, Ben Rama, all of them brothers for putting Man United in their place yesterday. Beautiful scenes. David De Gea, Butterfingers himself, lets one straight through his hands. Ben Rama does the Rashford celebration. It was just a beautiful end to a beautiful day yesterday. And Declan Rice gets man of the match. Covered every blade of grass. Was brilliant yesterday. And I'm starting to... I think because I feel like we might sign him, I'm starting to watch him in a different way now. Before I used to look at him and think, he's just a hard worker, you know. But then when you watch and you think you're going to sign him, you start to think in a more positive light about him. So that's what I've kind of done with Declan Rice now. I thought he was really good yesterday. So if we get the Rice, then it is what it is. Declan Jollof Rice, people. It is what it is. We'll make it work. Declan Rice and peas. But yeah, if he comes to the carpet, we'll bring him in with open arms, people. You know, I'm gonna give him full support if we get that deal done. But yeah, Eric Sevenhag takes another beat down. Beresford Productions, if you ever have doubts about Ramsdale, just be grateful your team doesn't have the Spanish Hugo Lloris in goal. I mean, De Gea, listen, for his qualities over the years, he does have a big mistake in him and does seem to, you know, let shots go through his hands sometimes. Big up to the Hammers, man. Big up to the Hammers. That was a really good performance. Rice fried Casemiro yesterday. Egg fried Casemiro, people. Clement said composed performance by the team yesterday at Newcastle. Big 3 points. Where was this Southampton against West Ham and Southampton? Ramsdale or Jorginho, man of the match against Newcastle. Santiago! If you've watched Goal, like I said, you're with me. I can't help it. It's a Newcastle joke. It always happens. Fulham beating Leicester 4-0 at the moment, if you're watching this live, people. I think Willian has scored in that game as well. Of course, that's a nightmare that we don't speak about in the Arsenal fan base. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the game from yesterday. Player ratings, all of that stuff, people. And let's talk about the performance. And we'll do some transfer news and all of that good stuff. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let's get into it, people. Newcastle United 0, Arsenal 2. Now, in my prediction yesterday, I said I thought Arsenal would win 2-1. I said that this prediction was with my heart. My head was telling me something very different. I thought we could have gone up there and got bullied yesterday. I'm going to be totally honest. I was not fully confident that we were going to win that game. I just thought, I remember the year before and the physicality of Newcastle. I'm saying it now. I think that was one of, if not the best away performances of the season for Arsenal yesterday. When you consider the quality of the opposition, make no mistake about it, Newcastle are third in the Premier League. And I think we've played better football than that away from home. You know, when we went to Tottenham, we just mashed them up all game. But I think the way we managed the game and little things like time wasting, like you get a tackle and you stay on the floor and you make the physio come on and you waste 2 minutes, even though we know there's nothing really wrong with you. Now, I saw Eddie Howe complaining, saying that Arsenal were time wasting. I'm like, bro, I remember you lot coming to the Emirates in January, I think it was. They were playing for a 0-0 from the first 20 minutes. Football takes a number of different elements to win a game. We've shown that at West Ham. We played amazing football first 30 minutes. We didn't manage the game properly. We end up drawing the game. We managed that game so well yesterday. Wasim, we are the second team to beat Newcastle this season at their ground. Liverpool were the first. I think Nick Pope got sent off in that game when he handballed it. So, effectively, we're the first team to beat Newcastle with 11 men on the pitch for the full 90. But I thought we managed the game so well. Streetwise, Every used to say it about Arsenal, as much as I can't stand some of the things he said. He said that we were like babies. We're a quality team, but we were like babies. And I think that element is coming out of this team now. We're a little bit nastier. You know, Xhaka wants a scrap with people. Jesus and Trippier was having it out. Little bit of time wasting. Smart movements that win you games of football. I loved what I saw from the team yesterday. Keem said, we seriously need to keep Tierney. Zinni looked horrible again. It's strange, isn't it? Because you look at Zinchenko. I mean, for all my FIFA players, he's in team of the season on FIFA at left back. If you watch Zinchenko for the last 4 weeks, you'd be thinking, how the hell is this guy in the team of the season? He can't defend. You look at Thomas Partey. 6 weeks ago, we're comparing him to Casemiro and Rodri. I'm now comparing him to Eric Djemba, Danielson, and, you know, Jordan Henderson when he first signed for Liverpool. He's looked horrible. And Zinchenko's looked horrible the last few weeks. Kieran Tierney has to stay at this football club. I don't care what we get offered. Keep him at the football club. He is the better defender. I know we love Zinchenko, inverted, but you ain't going to get away with that against certain teams. You go in the Champions League and play against Leroy Sané or Rodrigo or anybody else. Go and play Salah on a big Champions League night at Anfield. Zinni will get torn to shreds. Yeah, when you're on the ball and you're dominating and you're the better team, Zinchenko's beautiful. Right? Inverted midfielder, get on the ball. When your back's against the wall and you got to defend and you got a lively right winger, I don't want to see him on the pitch. If you want Zinchenko in the Arsenal team, just play him in midfield. In them sort of games. Just play him in midfield. And stop messing around. If you're at left back, can you defend? No, you can't? All right, let's do something different. Let's do something different. So we got away with it. It worked, but now it's not. I want to see Tierney at left back next week against Brighton 100%. Arteta actually learned yesterday and subbed Zinni early, and I loved it, and I'm going to give him credit in the player ratings. And what I liked was Tierney played like a conventional left back. He didn't come on and play inverted. He just played like a left back, and he was quality. Bellingham FC said, big up, Big C, Hala Madrid. Listen, every Arsenal fan echoes those last two words. I will be doing a watch-along tomorrow, and I will be Hala Madrid tomorrow. I want Manchester City to get slapped all over that Bernabeu pitch tomorrow. I want them out of the Champions League. I want Pep's head to roll off, and I want fatigue, tiredness, maybe a couple small injuries. I don't wish injury on any player, no major injury. But maybe a tweaked hamstring for De Bruyne, maybe a rolled ankle of Haaland, something simple like that. 2 or 3 weeks, I think we can all accept that, can't we? So forgive me for that. I think we're all in the same thought process. Come on, Real Madrid tomorrow. We'll be doing a watch-along for that. And I'll be supporting Madrid like that's an Arsenal game, trust me. Mass Darrell said, big up Big C, thanks for the show. We are winning the ting. Listen, man, why not? Let's keep believing. It's the hope that kills you, they say, but we're going to keep believing until the end, people. Let's end the season properly. Even though we are disappointed, you know, if we don't win it. Let's at least finish the season properly. Big up Mass Darrell. Make sure you smash the likes up. We got to get at least 1,000 likes. Keep going on the road to 100k, people. Big up to everyone locked in. Anyway, let's get into the show. Player ratings. Again, I haven't written the ratings down. I'm going straight off the top of the head. Freestyling. No lyrics. Modric, Benzema, Vinny, please rise tomorrow. Come on, Madrid. You're the kings of the Champions League. Show this little plastic rich club what it's all about. You know, it's them rich guys who go in the club, they buy bottles, they've got the table, they're wearing all brand names, but they got no swag. They don't know how to dance. You know, that's Manchester City in the nightclub. We haven't quite got as much brands as them on, and we haven't got the table with 5 bottles on it. We've just got 2 bottles on it, but we can dance. We got swag. We've got the talk. So, you know, I believe we're the better team. But anyway, let me not, no analogies. We haven't even warmed up for the show yet. Anyway, 2-0 win yesterday. Martin Ødegaard, the skipper. Listen, let me say something. I'm one of these people. When a player doesn't perform, or they frustrate me, or they don't turn up in big games, I'll call them out, right? And people sometimes think you've got an issue with him. No, you haven't. Listen, Martin Ødegaard this season, I think he's up there for player of the season at Arsenal. 15 league goals with no penalties for an attacking midfielder. Yesterday for me was one of his biggest tests. Because last year he got chewed up and spat out at St. James's Park by Joe Linton and Bruno. They destroyed him. They absolutely tore him to shreds. Full screen. All right, we'll go full screen. We'll go full screen. But listen, Martin Ødegaard, what I saw yesterday was a leader, was a talisman, was a player that, when I look at the Arsenal team, if you said to me, okay, they might not be world class, but who in that Arsenal team do you think can become world class? Martin Ødegaard would be one of the names. I'm looking at him now going, he can become one of the best attacking midfielders in the world. I don't say that lightly, people. Trust me. I don't hand out that kind of praise lightly. I still think he can get over a few hurdles, you know, but I think he can become one of the best attacking midfielders in the world. When you consider that Kevin De Bruyne's in his 30s, right? So Kevin De Bruyne's at the back end of his career. We know he's a monster, De Bruyne. We found out the hard way the other week. De Bruyne's 31 years of age at the moment, people, right? He turns 32 in June. So there aren't that many great attacking midfielders. Kevin De Bruyne's 31, Ødegaard's 24. He's having a remarkable season. 15 league goals and 7 assists. Considering last year he got 7 goals, he's more than doubled it with 4 games to go. He is having a fantastic season, and he deserves all the credit for that performance yesterday. I saw a thing with Micah Richards after the game, and he said that he reminds him of David Silva, in that David Silva, when he was captain, he didn't used to run around shouting and screaming, but he led through his brilliance on the ball. He would get you out of a hole when you were struggling. And he's done that. Solar Guard was in full effect yesterday. The solar panels were beaming on him. The energy was all over him. Trust me, last time we had a midfielder like that was Cesc Fabregas. Ozil was a great creator. Didn't get as many goals as I think he could have. This guy, unbelievable potential. No wonder they're trying to give him a new 7-year contract, because clubs will be looking at him in the next couple of years. Trust me. So we need to lock him down. Nothing but respect for Martin Ødegaard yesterday. Big C, did you see Arteta smile at St. Maximum? Maybe he just liked his hair. Maybe it was the headband. I don't know. But yeah, we were linked with him last week. So that's interesting. Big up Nesta. Road to success. De Gea as a shot stopper is elite. Not so good with the ball at his feet. I'm questioning this quote. Yeah, I don't know what he was dealing with yesterday. Old Butterfingers himself. But me personally, I don't know about you, I really enjoyed that David De Gea performance yesterday. And Lacazette scored 4 goals yesterday. Can you believe it? What is happening in the world? They won 5-4 yesterday, Leon, and Lacazette scored 4. You know what? I'm tempted to get on a plane, get to France, and put my boots back on. Lacazette scored 4 Premier League goals in the whole of last season. He scored 4 in 90 minutes. I think if you're a striker, get yourself to the French league. McLovin, he's trying to dampen our spirits. He said, great to see the spirits up. History will be made either way. Listen, big up yourself, man. Listen, as much as I'm bantering Man City, it's a historic game and one that I'll really enjoy, and the best team will win at the end of the day. So, yeah, big up yourself, man. Appreciate you supporting. Let's get into the player ratings. I'm freestyling here, so I'll be leaning on the community. I've got a pretty good idea of what I'm giving everyone in terms of numbers, but you know how we go. Let's get into it. Right, let's start with the keeper. Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Curried Goatsdale. I thought he had a brilliant game yesterday. Again, over the last couple of weeks, I've questioned him a little bit. No, I'm not saying Balogun's a fraud, by the way. But, you know, it does make you question a little bit what's going off in that league, how you can score goals there so easily. Aaron Ramsdale, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Brilliant performance. Difficult place to go. You know what I like so much about his performance yesterday was he started coming for crosses a little bit more. And at times he worries me when he doesn't. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. We could have easily conceded. He was talking, made some big saves yesterday at big moments. Now, I don't think he made any saves that he shouldn't have saved. There wasn't anything at full stretch where he tipped over the bar and you're like, oh my God, how has he saved that? But he was just... He did what he was supposed to do, and I love that performance from him yesterday. I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. The ratings are going to be high today. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be moving like Robbie today, who gives high ratings, although he gives 9 out of 10s even when we get beat. So big up, Rob. But yeah, Ramsdale gets a 9 out of 10. Most of you giving him a 9. Some of you giving him 10. Some of you giving him 8.5. Possibly his best Arsenal performance, says Jake. Curtis Collins says 10 out of 10. But yeah, 9 out of 10 for Aaron Ramsdale. Fantastic performance, leadership, handling, kicking. He had the lot, people. He had the absolute lot. 9 out of 10 for Ramsdale. Let's go to Ben White, Benny Blanco. I thought he started the game quite average. I thought Isaac had him scared and on the back foot, which he will. He's on form. But then I had to take into account that, let's be honest, we didn't concede. Isaac didn't score or get an assist. And then St. Maximum came on, who was lively as well. So I'm going to nudge him up to a 7 out of 10 because I've got to look at the two players that he was up against. If you're playing against Isaac for 75 minutes and then, you know, St. Maximum comes on for the last 15 or whatever, that's a tough day at the office, you know, and they didn't score. So I'm still going to give him a 7. I thought he got better after half-time. And Isaac looked very good. Very, very good. He's on fire at the moment. You can just tell by the confidence. People, apparently Leno has saved a penalty, which is unbelievable. It's 4-1 now. Fulham against Leicester, but apparently Leno saved the penalty, which is unreal. He never saves penalties. Hopefully now Ramsdale can save a penalty. Let's go to Alexander Zinchenko. This will be the lowest rating of any Arsenal player today. I don't want to create some sort of agenda against him because there isn't one. I like him. I think he's had a fantastic season. But at the moment, you know, you season up the chicken, you warm up the oven, you put it in, you've got to take the chicken out before the oven burns it. Otherwise, all that preparation was for nothing, and you've wasted a whole lot of time and seasoning. I feel like Zinchenko's been overcooked right now, people, and it's drying up real quick. Should have been in that oven for 20 minutes. You've left it in for 40 minutes. Dinner's mash up, people. Get out the phone and call a takeaway. Zinchenko at the moment. If you told him to hold your car keys right now, he'd drop them down the drain. That's the level of defending you're getting from Zinchenko at the moment. When he's getting dragged off after 55, 57 minutes by Arteta, who absolutely loves this guy, by the way. Absolutely loves this guy. then you know there's a serious problem. He's stinking out the joint at the moment. 4 out of 10 for Zinchenko. I'm sorry. I know that's low. Some of you may say I've gone a little bit too crazy. He's playing against Murphy. What's the brother's name? Jacob Murphy. He is absolutely bang average. I know he scored against Tottenham the other week. He's bang average. To me, he's a glorified championship winger, right? No disrespect. Maybe he could play for a lower Prem team. It's a bit harsh. 4 weeks ago, you cried like a baby at Anfield after getting nutmegged by Trent. I'm telling you, it's gone all downhill from there. The tears have mashed him up. Cried like a baby, and he's defended like a baby ever since. Stunk out the place, 4 out of 10. I'm not going to say too much because they'll say that it's an agenda. For me, take him out the firing line. Sometimes as a footballer, you're just not playing well. And it's much harder to get back into form, you know, than it is when you're in form and you continue at that level. He's out of form at the moment. Sometimes as a player, you need to be brought out the team, sit down, have a break, and re-find yourself. And I think that's what Arteta needs to do. I think he needs him to come out of the team. So where it all falls down. Oh, when it falls down, who you gonna call now? To the side, we gonna set this party. No, man, take him out the team. Bring Kieran Tierney in. He's stronger than a Tesco bag. Let's move on before we make him cry. Expected cries, they said. Arteta could destroy Zinchenko's confidence, keeping him at left back. Needs to play him in midfield or on the bench. Murphy hit the post very early. Cormac, thank you for the super chat. You're totally right. Get him out the team. Give him a break. He needs a break. Otherwise, we could have more tears from him. But do you know what? I feel like crying watching him defend at the moment. I can't lie, people. Let's go to the 2 centre-backs. Oh! The Kiwi is ripe. It's time to get some fruit, people. The Kiwi is ripe. When he played in the Europa League and he ducked down like someone was shooting at him in Grand Theft Auto, I said, what kind of idiot defender is this you've paid £20 million for? I don't know what kind of centre-back this is, but boy, he watched Rob Holding for 3 weeks. He said, I don't care if that Kiwi is ripe or not. He's going in the team. And boy, the Kiwi is ripe indeed. Proper defender. What was you waiting for, Mikel? What the hell are you waiting for? After me, there will be no more. So for one last time, make some noise. Who you know fresher than Hove? Riddle me that. The rest of you know where I'm... Let me stop before they copyright me. You can't get this on any other channel. You can't get this. Anyway, let me calm down. Why has he took so long to play him? Willian's just scored again as well. My head, I don't know what to say now. I've lost my whole train of thought. He couldn't kick a football for Arsenal. He looks like a world beater for them. I think that's his second goal today. I'm all over the place right now. The Kiwi is ripe. Solid centre-back. 8.5 out of 10. I'm giving it him. Wilson and Isaac, 2 of the most informed strikers in the Premier League. No goal between them. You didn't even notice Kivior yesterday. And I always say the best defenders, you don't notice them. They do their job and they go home. Simple as that. 8.5. Baller. Looks quality. I said this would be a real test for him. Chelsea, they weren't interested. But this was a tough one. And he was superb. 8.5. Nesta said inverted tears for Zinchenko. Matt said Fulham. I got 5 on it. Yo, Leicester taking a beat down, bro. Taking a real beat down from Fulham. Information and entertainment. We're live, people. We're live. You know the song. You know when you tune into these streams, they can go in any direction. But listen, I'm not saying he's a world beater. I'm not saying he's a top quality centre back. You need to judge them over a longer period of time. But ultimately, I'm looking at these performances going, how the hell did this guy not play 4 weeks ago? What the hell was Rob Holding doing in the team apart from flicking his hair around as people ran past him? It's wild. Sidon, if you're watching, by the way, get yourself in the chat. I think we need to talk. Yeah, he was trying to banter Arsenal the other day. Your team's on their way to the Championship, bro. It's mad. We'll take Maddison, though, for 6 million. Maybe 7. That's the most you're getting. Anyway, Gabriel Magalhaes. His performances this season have been like his hairline, mate. They're reborn. They're back to life. You know, solid performance as usual. I'm giving him the same as Kivior, 8.5. Real leadership. And he's just brilliant, Gabriel Magalhaes. Considering no Saliba for so long, he's just solid. I just think he's brilliant, Gabriel, at the moment. I give him an 8.5. Let's go into the midfield. Boy, I mean, I think Omar said it in the comments yesterday, but we're going to start with the Italian boy. I'm going to start with the Italian boy. I'm not going to go as far as saying that, you know, I still wanted Caicedo. I'm not going to back down from that, right? I am. I'm not going to back down from that. But maybe I was not aware of your talents, bruv. Maybe I was not aware of your talents. J2O. And I'm not talking about the drink that you get in your local Wetherspoons. Apple and raspberry, apple and mango. Other flavours are available. I'm talking about the Italian. Former Ballon d'Or nominee. Europa League winning. Champions League winning. Euros winning central midfielder. Brother, maybe I was not aware of your abilities. What a performance. Because of the hype, I'm giving him 10 out of 10. I'm sorry, people. I have to. I can't do anything else. Did you see his interview after the game? He said the Newcastle fans shouting at him and booing him inspired him to play better. He loved it. I'm done. I'm done. I should end the stream now. What a performance from him. I said he can't run, he can't tackle. What do I know? No, that's why I'm not a football manager, people. That's why I only play Football Manager on the phone. That's it. 10 out of 10. I'm not holding back. What a performance that was from Jorginho yesterday. Pull it against Bruno, Willock, Joe Linton. None of them turned up. 10 out of 10. Man of the match. He gets them in the circle. And he's doing the team talk. Now, when Zinchenko tried to do that the other week against Southampton, Ødegaard tried to argue with him. It was almost as if he was saying, yo, bro, I appreciate you doing this, but I'm the captain. Stop talking. With Jorginho, Ødegaard just stood there and said, bro, I'm going to listen to you still. I trust what you're saying. Honestly, I'm not saying he's the answer. Nowhere near. I'm not saying he was even the guy we should have signed. But let me tell you, yesterday, purely based off that performance, he was outstanding. He kept the ball. He played progressive passes. He got an assist. He was doing tactical fouls. He was staying down on the floor. You're right, Iman, that is it. He's a calming influence. And I was saying before the game, Partey needs to start this game. We're going to get bullied. I mean, Thomas who? Who? Thomas the Tank Engine. I can't even remember who that guy is. Anyway, let me not say too much, because if he has a bad game against Brighton, I'll look stupid and I've praised him too much. 10 out of 10, man of the match. Lock it off. What a performance that is, by the way, from J20. Anyway, that was full screen, so you know it's serious. Let's go to Granit Xhaka. I like Granit's performance yesterday. I liked it. Granit was fired up yesterday. And back in the day, when Granit was fired up, we all worried. Because when Granit was fired up, it meant he was probably going to get sent off. But yesterday, he was fantastic. The block from Granit Xhaka yesterday, yeah, that block. The recovery run from the halfway line. And the pace. He's got a hunter card on FIFA. He's got a pace boost. And the block from Joe Willock. I'm telling you now, do you know how hype that block got me? 9 out of 10 for Granit Xhaka. If you'd have told me 2 years ago, I'd be sitting here smiling at a midfield of Granit Xhaka, a player that I wanted out of this club for 5 years, and Jorginho, I would say it must be 420, because I don't know what you're dealing with. You must be high or drunk or something. I can't believe it. The ratings, I don't know what it is. Shadow card, 10 plus pace, there you go. Xhaka recovery runs, pace, no yellow card when he's fired up, squaring up to man, Callum Wilson and them man, on smoke. As I say, Granite, I haven't seen a change like this since the Jenner. Kendall or whatever. What's the name? Bruce? I don't know what the name is, but you know what I'm talking about. I have not seen a change like that since the Kardashian dad, mum, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. What a player at the moment. Now, I still want the upgrade. I can't lie, people. I still want the upgrade in... Caitlin, is it? I still want the upgrade in the summer, right? Whoever that is. But let me give this brother his flowers, man. 9 out of 10. Let's talk about Martin Ødegaard. Oh, it's Caitlin. What was I saying? Bruce? I said Kendall. I was all over the place. But yeah, you knew what I meant. That was the main thing. You knew who I was talking about. So you're with me there. Martin Ødegaard. Shame he's on the wrong side of 30, Xhaka. Yeah, the position change, putting him in the attacking midfield role, has totally changed him, you know. So fair play to Arteta. Big up Nestor, who said, thoughts on Paulinho, most tackles in the Prem this season. I like him. I do like him. Would I take him? I would, but I'm aiming higher, if I'm being honest. Man are calling me Robbie Shaw. Listen, we won 2-0 at Newcastle. The ratings are going to be high. They have to be high. But as much as I'm bigging some of these players up, I still want the upgrades in the summer. I can't lie. Let's go to Martin Ødegaard. I'm giving him 9.5. I'm giving him a 9.5. I thought he was a little bit quiet second half, but first half he was the best player on the pitch, head and shoulders above anyone. I thought second half, Jorginho was the main man. I'm giving him a 9.5. The goal was outstanding. 30 yards, bottom corner. Should have scored a second one. End of the first half. 9 yards out on his right foot. He is just... everything goes for him. He's got the keys. He's the one who unlocks the door right now, people. A lot of you saying man of the match. I think him and Jorginho were the two. I've just given it to Jorginho. But Ødegaard, I think at the moment... he's probably, for me, Arsenal's player of the season. If you look at consistency, you look at the players. Saka's dropped off the last few weeks a little bit. Martinelli had a little spell where, you know, he was out the team. Trossard was playing ahead of him. Xhaka's been solid. Gabriel's been brilliant since the World Cup. Probably before the World Cup, we were hyping Saliba more than Gabriel. Ben White's been good, but has had a few games where he's fell off a little bit. I would say Ødegaard is player of the season for Arsenal, if I'm being totally honest. At this point, 15 goals, 7 assists. There's nothing you can say about that. Although Jensen's coming in on smoke, he said, delusion, are we first again or something? There is no pressure. You forgot that. Listen, I'm talking, when we do player ratings, I don't do a collective. We're not talking about the last 10 games, the last 5 games. The ratings are based on that 90-minute performance. That is it. I said at the start of the show, it was bittersweet because it was a great performance, but where was it against West Ham? Where was it against Southampton? I'm totally aware of the situation we're in. So, relax. You don't need to kick the door down. Just knock. And we'll have the conversation, my friend. Calm down. Woosa, woosa. Anyway, let's move on. 2.1k in the chat. Like the video and subscribe. Let's go to the front three. Bukayo Saka, for me, yesterday was our weakest attacking player. I love Saka. He's had a fantastic season. Deserves his flowers. But I don't cap, apart from when I'm wearing a cap. You know? He's not in form right now. He's not in form. I'm being honest. Dan Burn is a solid defender. He's 6'7". He's a beast. He's probably one of the slowest left backs in the Premier League. He's a sloth. He's a giant. He's absolutely massive. He turns like a double-decker bus. And I didn't really see Saka cause him no problems yesterday. One-on-one with the keeper, hits it straight at him. He was lively, is the best I can say for Saka. Maybe he's getting some Starboy tax with the rating. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't good. He gets a... I don't want to mark him down. I'm gonna give him a 6. he gets some star boy tax. He had a couple decent moments, as Ty Jr. says. He should have scored. Couple times he was lively, but if we hadn't won yesterday, he probably deserves a 5, if I'm being honest. What I will say, he got no protection from the ref. He was kicked all over the place. And I don't care what anyone says. I believe Bruno Guimaraes stood on his Achilles on purpose. It was one of them accidentally on purpose. He probably deserves a 5. Because we won the Starboy tax, I'll give him a 6. I'm questioning whether he starts next week, 100%. I don't think he did enough yesterday. So, Brighton next week, I think you've got a question. Again, like Zinchenko, sometimes a player needs to be taken out of their team for their own good. This is why we need to sign a right winger in the summer, because if you had whoever, Rafinha, Diaby, Zaha, yes, I will say Zaha, Nimbo, if you're listening. But anyway, somebody of that sort of quality on the bench, you can take him off, you can drop him. It probably is a 5, but he's got a lot of credit in the bank. The overdraft is healthy, so I itch him up to a 6. But yeah, it wasn't great. It probably was a 5, if I'm being totally honest. Let's go to Gabriele Martinelli. Savallo Intenti. Nimbo's here as well. Daily Zaha, people. Daily Zaha. He will become a gooner at some stage, I'm sure. If not, I'll just sign him on Football Manager. Martinelli, for me, was interesting. First off, most of the time I said, lift your head, as I always do. Lift your head, Martinelli! Lift your head! But I have to give him some credit, because I look back at some of the game and I'm like, he created the chance for Martin Ødegaard. 10 yards out, should score. That would have been an assist. He cuts inside Fabian Schär, whips it far corner, hits the crossbar. Very unlucky. And then he creates their own goal, which is him. And like somebody just said there, Martinelli is relentless. Even if he's made a mistake, he'll go again. He'll go again. He'll go again. You saw how annoyed Kieran Trippier was getting throughout that game. He was consistently arguing. He was wound up. And I think Martinelli got in his head. I really do think he frustrated him yesterday. I'm going to give him... do you know what? I'm still going to give him an 8. And I tell you why. Because I know he didn't score the goal. But at 1-0, that game would have been nerve-wracking until the final minute of that game. Once he created that goal, it was over, done and dusted. And we knew. 2-0, it feels like it's comfy now. And like you said, Tsunami, 15 goals without lifting his head. Imagine how many goals, assists. If he does, trust me, I still think the sky is the limit for that boy. I've said it many times. And I don't like to say this because it seems like I'm downplaying one when I'm bigging up the other. But I think his potential is higher than Saka. I honestly do. Because I still think he's so far away from being developed. 15 goals, 5 assists in the Premier League this season, and still doesn't lift his head at times. Imagine how good he can be when he starts doing that. So I'm giving him an 8 because I think he secures us the 3 points there. Bleck said, remember the name, Big C, Martinelli. Trust me, man, why do you think Klopp always hypes him? Why do you think he went to the World Cup with Brazil? Trust me, people know... If you're playing against Martinelli, it's a tough day at the office, even if he's not at his best. But listen, I hope people don't think I'm downplaying Saka here. Saka is an outstanding talent. Definitely agree with Franklin. Saka is a more mature footballer. He understands the game more than Martinelli. Martinelli plays off pure physical attributes, pace and power. But both great talents. Gabriel Jesus in the middle. This is the one rating, you know, that when I looked at the team, I was like, do you know what? I'm not actually sure what I would rate Gabriel Jesus. I feel like everyone else I knew. I think Jesus' hold-up play was well. But I don't really remember him testing the keeper. I give him a 6.5. I give him a 6.5. I think he worked hard. There was no real goal threat from him, which I didn't like. But it was a hard. You could give him a 7 from a team point of view. Oh, a lot of the community saying 7. I'll itch him up to a 7, but I didn't. He wasn't much of a goal threat, but he worked his socks off. He worked it. It was like a dirt kite performance. He was defensively brilliant for a striker. You know, I give him a 7. I would have given him 6.5. His hold up was brilliant. I love Gabriel Jesus, you know, as a player. I just still think we need a goal scorer next season, if I'm being honest. I'm a big fan of Gabby Jesus, and when we signed him, and I think he would have got 15, 16 league goals if it wasn't the injury. But I would like to sign a goal scorer. I want somebody. I always feel real natural goal scorers, they're desperate to score. I think Jesus can come off a pitch without scoring and still be happy. Even me at the levels I played when I was a striker, if I had a good game and didn't score, I wasn't happy in myself. Even if we won and I thought, okay, good assist, good hold up, cool, did you score? No. That always brought a little bit of a downer on a performance for me. I want more goals. I know it's not all about goals, but as a striker, it is something about goals. If you got two wingers like Mane and Salah, you might be able to score 10 goals and still win the Premiership like you could with Bobby Firmino. We haven't yet got two wingers that score 25 goals, so we do need 15, 20, 25 goals out of our striker. So, but we'll see. Maybe next year he scores more. You take away the injury, maybe he gets another 7 or 8 goals, and maybe we'll be all right. Goals are the key for strikers. They are. A Van Nistelrooy-esque, yeah, somebody like that, somebody who just lives and breathes goals, people, is what I want. But we'll give him a 7. I would have probably give him a 6.5, but, you know, we won. Good vibes. Bank holiday Monday. Happy Bank holiday Monday. So we give him a 7. But I want to see more goal threat from him. I actually can't remember who came on apart from Tierney. So I'm just looking who came on. Tierney, Partey, Trossard, Nelson and Ketia, they came on in the 80-plus minute. Everyone gets a standard mark. I'll give Kieran Tierney a 7. He was clearly, in fact, I'm going to give him an 8. Because he comes off the bench against the team that want to sign him. He didn't sulk. He put in a quality performance and he looked a lot better than Zinchenko. Somebody just said in the comments, and apologies because I didn't click on the comment, but he said, you might only appreciate Zinchenko's qualities once he's out the team. And I do understand what you're saying by that, because he's been out in games and we've said, oh, we miss his quality on the ball, but he's definitely out of form. I'm giving Tierney an 8, and I think he should start against Brighton this weekend. I honestly do. Let's give the manager a rating. I'm going to give Mikel Arteta 9 out of 10. It's as simple as that. I wasn't sure about this starting 11. I really wasn't. I thought Partey maybe should have started. I thought maybe Trossard should have started. But boy, did it work. He got it spot on. And the fact that he made a substitution in the 57th minute and took off one of his favourites, which Zinchenko, he loves Zinchenko. I just thought, that's more like it. And I tell you something now, and I say this all the time, right? If you don't achieve something in life, let me go full screen, lock this off. If you don't achieve something in life, or you lose a football match or whatever, you have to learn from it. And if we don't win the Premier League this season, it will be extremely disappointing, especially when you look back at some of them games. But this group and this manager, they have to learn. Arteta has to become a better manager next season. These players have to improve. So Arteta, you know, those substitutions were necessary. They were early and they changed the game. So he deserves his credit. Oh my God, Leicester 5-3 against Fulham. What a game. But it's in the 91st minute, so I think it's too late for Leicester. So yeah, Arteta gets a 9 out of 10. Don't know why Saka wasn't substituted earlier. That's kind of the one thing he still doesn't like doing. Elliot said Arteta 10. Outthought how hard to do. You're right. Big C with that life wisdom. Trust me, we don't lose, we learn, people. We don't lose, we learn. If you don't learn, then you've lost because the experience didn't help you improve. But if you learn from it, then it can still be a victory. Take that bit of knowledge, people. I'm not doing the Rashford celebration. I'm telling you, think about it, people. Think about it. You know what I mean? I think they will learn Big C with new signings. We could be challenging. We need to have a top quality transfer window. Anyway, let's move on. I just want to say that, and I know the season hasn't finished yet, but I do think I'm trying to look at the season in a positive light, whether we win the league or not. I was very frustrated the last few weeks, but I am a great believer in the power of now. You can't deal with the past. I still can't believe we didn't win that game against Southampton, but it is what it is. I think it's important that as a group, even if we finish second and we'll be frustrated and we will always think, what if? We have to make sure that we look at all the positives that we've gained as a football club this season and the direction that we're moving in. And I was looking at a few things. I mean, just for example, if we go back to last season, you look at last season where we finished 5th. 61 goals scored last season. 48 goals conceded. 69 points altogether, right? So 61 goals scored, 48 conceded. You look at this season, 83 goals scored rather than 61. We're 21 goals above last season with 3 games to play. We've conceded 6 less goals. We're on 81 points. We're 12 points better off with 3 points to play. Now, I know at the end of the season, you can't lift the trophy up saying we scored more goals than last year. It doesn't work like that. Ultimately, people will just... Opposition fans will just round off this season and say, you bottled the title. Right? And because I would do that to a Man United fan. I would do that to a Liverpool fan. I would do that to a Chelsea fan. So what? You bottled the league. And ultimately, with a little bit more quality and know-how, we probably could and should be sitting top of the league right now and be trying to win that title. And I know it's difficult, but we also have to look at it and say, we are progressing. We are moving in the right direction. It's about what happens in the summer. They've got to sign players that can push us over the finish line. I think we need that X factor. And I'm not talking about the show with Simon Cowell. We need game changers. Right, we need an Alexis Sanchez type signing, a Mesut Ozil, and a Aubameyang. Those are the last signings where I looked at and thought, you're a game changer. Now, it is difficult. But like I said, for me, 2 weeks ago, I switched off from winning the title. And I know that sounds a little bit pessimistic, but it's a coping mechanism. I did it so that I'm not having absolute meltdowns for the rest of the season. If we win the league from this point, it's a bonus and a shock. But mentally, I've switched off and it's done for me. I think we'll finish second. I'll still support the team, but that's the way I'm coping with us feeling like we've thrown it away. We've got to cling to the positives, finish the season well, go and sign 2 or 3 superstars in the summer, get better squad players, lift up the level of the squad, and go again. That's the only way we can do it and see what we can do in the Champions League. Now, nobody expects us to win the Champions League next season, but I would like to see us go far in the competition. I look at Inter Milan. I think they're 4th or 5th in Serie A at the moment. They're in a Champions League semi-final. Do you know what I mean? So if you get a bit of luck and you sign the right players, I mean, look, Inter are 4th in Serie A at the moment. They're 20 points behind Napoli. You never know. It's a cup competition. Anything can happen. So we need quality. We need to keep building, and we need to see where it takes us. And that's all we can do. Keep building, keep improving. I have to say, right, I watched that Man United game yesterday against West Ham, and I'm watching the game, and I know this isn't about other teams, but I'm watching Man United play that game, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm so glad that we play football the way we play football. Because I'm watching Man United, I'm thinking, your team's worth an absolute fortune. And your style of football is horrendous. They just give the ball to Bruno and Rashford and hope for something to happen. They've got no style of play. They're pretty boring to watch. they've just got individual brilliance. So it's just like, if we can get them missing pieces of the jigsaw, 2 or 3 superstars in this team, then you never know. I think it's important next season that we win trophies. Whether that's not the Prem, even I want to see Arsenal winning trophies. Even if we finish top 4, win an FA Cup, go far in the Champions League, win trophies, win trophies. That's what success is all about. So anyway, let me move on anyway. There you go. I've dropped my little speech about Arsenal. Let's move. A big story today again. In fact, no, let me quickly skip through the waffle. Quick waffle. I'll make this short and snappy, people. Bit of syrup, bit of waffle, and we'll see what Arteta had to say. It's only a short one that he put out yesterday in the press conference. Why have they done it? They done it all in capitals on bold. They're all over the place. On the team making a statement today, he said, I think the word to describe it is pride. When you have question marks, you have to resolve them straight away. Let's skip it. On talking about last year's results before the game, he said we have to feel it. On how the players responded to being shown clips of the result from last year, he said, I'm looking at the video, I didn't see those faces. Was he happy with the way we controlled the game? Really good. Where today's performance ranks this season, he said it feels the best because the last one and the one before has gone. How pleased he was with the way the team responded. They started the game brightly. The difference between this performance and last season, it was different. And now they've gone to small letters. What's going on here? Who's doing the admin at Arsenal? You're all over the place. They did the first half in capitals, and then they've moved it back. What's going on, Arsenal? On showing fight, we are there to keep digging. On Ødegaard's performance, the leadership he is showing in levels of consistency are what you demand. On whether we were guilty of time wasting, for sure our team is not like that. On proving that the team will fight until the end, he said he proves it that we've done it today. On whether we match the approach of Newcastle, he said we've done that and we had to win the game. 60 seconds of waffle, people. End it. Quick waffle today, people. End the waffle. The admin can't even write it in the right wording, so there's no way I'm spending 5 minutes on it. Let's talk transfers. Yamming waffles, sipping syrup, having a Newcastle night, jamming to that Cone Man music. Big up the Cone Man himself. Just a quick waffle today, people. It's the afternoon. You've already had your lunch, so it was express waffle, like Herb says. Let's talk transfers, people. Is this deal going to happen? According to reports today, this deal is getting ever closer. I can't lie. I'm just talking about the shirt, by the way. This is our home shirt next season. With the Champions League badges on the arm, do you think I can stay away from that shirt next season? That shirt is getting bought and copped the day it comes out. Arsenal with the gold stripes down the side, with the Champions League badges on the arm. Ah, dear. That's getting bought on day one. That away kit with the stripes and the tyre marks on it, I ain't going anywhere near that. But that is getting copped on day one. So forgive me when you see me in that. Declan Rice, man of the match yesterday against Man United. Dominated Casemiro and all their man in midfield. I have to admit, he suits the Arsenal kit. He was having a good laugh with Ian Wright after the game as well, saying, see you soon and all of that. Listen, I'm not going to get carried away and all that because Mudryk was twerking like Beyonce and we still never got him to Arsenal. So even if Declan Rice wants to come to Arsenal, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. According to reports today, Arsenal are edging closer to completing a deal for Declan Rice after it is believed West Ham are willing to take less than the 100 million asking price. They now believe Declan Rice has no intention of renewing his contract at the club next season, and West Ham are not willing to allow him to go into the last year of his contract. Now, I think they're hoping West Ham survive in the Premier League, win the Conference League. They might hype him up to stay, but I don't think he's going to. Apparently, he's rejected a £250,000 a week contract. So, in that terms, the only issue is Declan Rice is going to want big, big money to sign for Arsenal, because if he's been offered £250 at West Ham, naturally he's going to want the same sort of money at Arsenal. So, let's get one thing clear. This is big, big money. You're talking about Probably £80 million and 250 grand a week. True Gunner said, Curtis, I've been watching you since the start. You've always said Declan Rice is overrated. Honestly, I'm not capping because he's probably coming to Arsenal. I do think there is, a lot of English tax attached to him. Do you can't up the apples and pears, mate. Declan Rice, West Ham, he's on his way to Arsenal, mate. He loves the football that Arteta plays, mate. We can't keep him at West Ham. We've played forever blowing bubbles. We've offered him 250 grand a week. He's not having it, mate. So Declan, all the best to you at Arsenal, mate. Go and win the title over there, mate. West Ham, East London, you know what I mean? Born and bred. Declan Rice. There you go, mate. That's not bad. I thought that was prime East End of London, to be honest. If Arteta wants him, I want him. That's where I'm at, Neil. That's where I'm at as well, because we keep getting this guy's plan B and plan C. He wants Caicedo, you get Jorginho. He wants Mudryk, you get Trossard. He wants Vlahovic, Give him his plan B. Don't give him his plan B, sorry. Give him his plan A, and then we can judge him fully as a manager. So if he wants Declan Rice, number one target, get Declan Rice. So, and I have to admit, because he's being so heavily linked to Arsenal now, I feel like I'm watching him in a different way now. Before I watched him, I thought, look at this guy. He's just running around everywhere, man. He's a hype merchant. Now I'm like, what a tackle that is. Get him to Arsenal. He plays a 5-yard pass. I'm like, look at the way he played that 5-yard pass. He's getting overhyped. But listen, I think the biggest quality of Declan Rice is his leadership. He sets the tempo. You saw the work rate and the, crunching challenges. So I'm with it. 80 million. Listen, I'll take him at Arsenal. Big up George for becoming a member. Really appreciate it, bro. African Giant with the super chat said, relax, brother. Just rang Toddy. Respect you. Listen, I know you lot have got the dough, but he wants Champions League football, man. And unfortunately, you do not have the facilities to make this happen right now, bro. Give it 12 months. But by then, he'll already be an Arsenal player. Talent ID, don't lie. Bring in Rice and Caicedo. I'm with you on that as well, Elliot. I think Rice by himself doesn't solve the midfield issue. It's like having dinner. You give me a plate of rice, it ain't enough. I need some jerk chicken, some dumpling, you know what I mean? So Caicedo is the chicken and the dumpling. So you bring me the rice and you bring me the Caicedo, and I'm delighted with the deal. But we can't have a plate of rice. It just ain't going to be enough. But listen, I want to know. I'm going to put a poll out. Are you happy for Arsenal to pay 80 million for Declan Rice? Is this a signing that you support? Do you think he's somebody that improves us? And would you bring him? Would you bring him to Arsenal? I think it's going to happen. Rice for 80 mil this summer. Are you happy? Or do you think we should be going elsewhere? Because it looks like it's going to happen, I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna back it. Bring Rice to the carpet. They won't sell for 80. Listen, I think they might. I think what they were hoping for was an auction. I think they wanted 4 or 5 clubs to be in for him, and 100 million. I don't think that's going to happen. Wow. Now, this worries me, right? Because when I say Broads is 100% East London and he loves West Ham players, he said, I like Rice as a player. I just don't know if it's what we need. And I hear you on that. The funny thing was before, I looked at Rice and I said, I don't know if we need him because we've got Partey who plays the 6 role better. And I thought we needed the number 8 to upgrade Xhaka more. But having watched Thomas Partey in the last 6 weeks, I'm like, do you know what? Maybe we need the number 6 and the number 8, because Partey, at the end of every season, he looks like he can't run. So for me, I've totally changed my mind. I didn't think we needed Declan Rice. I've changed my mind. Get him to the carpet, because I know he can play 6 and 8, and he's a bit of a hybrid. But I think we need 2 centre mids this summer. I want a goal scorer and someone who can get on the ball. But I'll take Declan Rice as well. I will take him, honestly. What I've seen from Partey again at the back end of the season, you cannot rely on Thomas Partey. He breaks down. It's like a flash car with a dodgy engine. You know, he ain't getting you all the way to your destination. He's breaking down. You're ringing the AA to pick you up off the M1. You know, so yeah. I'll take Declan Rice. He said, I can't even hide my allegiance with the two hammers. Yeah, I'll take Rice. I'll take him. Like a pair of Havanas. You can hear the flips flapping, people. You can hear the flips flopping. I'll take him. Trust me, what I've seen a party the last few weeks, man. Get Rice to the carpet. Now, where this story takes an interesting twist again, people, even more likely to happen is that there's a story this morning in The Athletic, the mouthpiece of the football club, with David Ornstein. West Ham are interested in former Arsenal midfielder Matteo Guendouzi as a potential replacement for Declan Rice, who is expected to leave this summer amid interest from Arsenal, Newcastle and Manchester United. It's believed Marseille would be willing to sell Guendouzi for £35 million. Two things. Number one, it's good that West Ham are looking for a replacement. You know, clearly, a club like West Ham can't afford to let Declan Rice, you know, walk out of the door for nothing. Second of all, and I'm sorry, I do have to say it because some of you are thinking it, we sold him for 9 million and a year later, 35 million. If I speak, I'm suspended at least 6 months. There has to be a sell-on clause in that deal. Surely we're getting 10-20% of that money. But yeah, Guendouzi to West Ham, people. 35 million, we only got 9 million for him. Good business for Marseille, to be honest. But we know Edu doesn't accept cash. It's, you know, he'd just give him oxygen. Give him oxygen, you can have the player. You want Aubameyang? Yeah, 15 million. No, just give me some oxygen. You can take him. AirPod Albert said, big up Big C insider information. Rice is done. Edu just phoned me. Declan said, I want Caicedo, Tony and Rice. I would take all three. That would be a brilliant window. Probably with a winger and a defender. I'd be all over that. Sell-on clause, a packet of Monster Munch. That's probably all we'll get. He only takes new barbecues. He don't want cash. He wants barbecues and jet skis when he's on holiday in Portugal, people. That's all he accepts. But yeah, listen, Declan Rice looks to be edging closer. Guendouzi being linked as the replacement for Declan Rice at West Ham, £35 million. So it'll be interesting. Also, in that article, by the way, with The Athletic, which was a little bit worrying, is that Liverpool are edging closer to signing Alexis McAllister from Brighton. This story says that Brighton will not sell McAllister and Caicedo in the same transfer window. So if Liverpool get that deal done for McAllister early, that could actually scupper any chance of Arsenal getting Caicedo in this window. Rumours are that the club will try and hang on to Caicedo for another season if McAllister does join Liverpool. So what I would say, if Arsenal want Caicedo, they need to be getting that deal done right now before Liverpool get this McAllister deal done. Otherwise, oh yeah, we're friends with Brighton, beautiful, but we can't sign none of their players once again. So that will be frustrating. Bleck said, is Edu still keeping the Brighton relationship? It looks like it. We're going to be friends with them, but not sign any of their players. Brighton better cash out, man. They're probably in Europe. And this is what I mean. If they get Europa League, you know, they're not going to want to sell everyone, which is the problem. Paulinho from Fulham it is then. I'd take him. Anyway, let's round up, people. Let's have a quick look at the Premier League table. African Giant said, the day the Kroenkes fork out 250 million in one season, that's the day I wear an Arsenal jersey to a Chelsea game. Clip that. I don't think we'll get 250 this year. We might get 200. You know, we might get 200. And Canadian Gooner said Rice versus United was a world-class performance. When you look at who he's playing against, you know, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, they're top players. Give him his flowers, man. Declan Rice and Peas was balling out yesterday. I can't lie. This is a big week for Arsenal. I know the majority of us, like I said yesterday, the majority of us think it's over. City go and win it. But like I said, we've all got that 1% hope. That's why we all check the scores. That's why we all see what's happening. Manchester City play Real Madrid tomorrow in the Bernabeu. I think this directly will have an effect on what happens the rest of the season. I don't care what anyone says. If Pep wins the Prem and doesn't win the Champions League, I think people will still look at him and say, you failed again. You've got the best team in Europe. You've added a monster of a striker and you still couldn't win the Champions League. That proves you could only win it with prime Messi at Barcelona. He will look like a failure. He has to win that Champions League. If they get beat against Madrid, I think you will start to see an element of pressure and City changing. You saw it against Leeds at the end. 2-1, changing penalty takers. Leeds could have equalised. The fatigue will kick in. They play Everton away on Sunday and they play Madrid again the following week. And then they play Chelsea. Then they play Brighton away and Brentford away. We need something to go wrong. I keep saying something needs to go wrong in this Man City game, in this Man City team for a game or two. Whether that's an injury or a defeat, a poor performance, something needs to go wrong. And I'm hoping the wheels start to fall off tomorrow. Hala Madrid business. Benzi, Vinny, Rodrigo, Luka Modric. We need all you boys tomorrow. Arsenal, we are Madrid fans for the next week. I'm telling you now, City, I've said it all along. We've got to hang on in there. They have got a difficult end to the season. What's going on here? Videos playing and all sorts. They've got a difficult end to the season. Real Madrid away, Everton away, Real Madrid at home, Chelsea at home, Brighton away, Brentford away, Man United at Wembley. That is a tough end to the season. We've got Brighton at home, Forest away, and Wolves at home. We've got a much easier end to the season. They lose to Real Madrid. Pep's head starts to roll off. They go to Everton, Sean Dyche, long ball, they draw 1-1. They go back to the second leg, City at Manchester Stadium, Madrid knock them out the Champions League. Pep's head's gone. They're calling him a failure. You failed. Haaland gets pocketed by Militao and Alaba. They play Chelsea at home, brush them aside. Anyone can beat Chelsea. Sorry, African Giant. But then they go to Brighton, down on the coast. Pebbles on the beach, no sand. Nobody likes that beach. It's not comfortable. You can't sunbathe there. You can't lay there. You can't even play beach football. The pebbles will hurt. And they draw. No, they lose 2-1. A late goal by former Arsenal player Danny Welbeck at the back post. City go into meltdown. They beat Brentford last game of the season. Arsenal win their remaining 3 and Ødegaard lifts the title last day of the season. How does that sound for you people on this bank holiday Monday? Sound good? All right, maybe not. They beat Madrid over 2 legs. They smash Everton, Chelsea, Brighton and Brentford and win the league. And we're sitting here in regrets of what happened against Southampton and West Ham. And we signed Tielemans on a free. That's probably more like the truth, innit, people? But anyway, I'm trying to create some hope. I'm speaking it into existence. I'm a Madrid fan tomorrow. We will be doing the watch-along. I'm going to try and learn a little Spanish. And, you know, anyone who watches this channel, you know Karim Benzema is one of my favourite footballers in the world. If I was teaching you how to be a striker, that is one of the players that I would study. When I was a kid, I used to study Romario. That was the first striker that I looked at. And then R9 became my GOAT of a striker. And Henry was my favourite because of Arsenal. I would say Benzi is the striker that I would watch in the modern game. We need them to turn City over tomorrow and make Pep's head roll off. I want to see that boiled egg roll off his head. We need Madrid tomorrow. You can start this for us tomorrow. You can start the process. Dani Ceballos, masterclass off the bench. You know, spinning around that Man City defence. Nesta said, Big C, how come I see Fulham and Leeds give City a run for their money? We couldn't do the same. That's my only problem. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think City take their foot off the gas with teams like that. They're like, yeah, done. It's over. And then they'll concede. And with Arsenal, they kept their foot down on the accelerator for the whole 90 minutes. And we couldn't handle it, you know. Gunnar Roller said, I'm convinced the club's Twitter admin watches your stream. They posted a clip showing Zinni defending. Listen, we all know we're Champions League level winning when it comes to PR. You know, we're the best. We're the best at it. So anyway, let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting tomorrow anyway. But Benzi, man, listen. Full support tomorrow, people. Full support. Big up everyone tuning in. Great stream as always. 2.5K in the chat. Like the video, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We'll be back for the watch along tomorrow. 8 o'clock kickoff. I'll be live about 7:30, and I'll probably be live at 2 o'clock with the Arsenal show again tomorrow with an update as well. Luka Modric apparently is injured. I did see they said he was 50-50 whether he'd be fit. They need him to be fit. If he's not fit, that is a problem as well. But we'll see. Big up to everyone locked in. Enjoy your bank holiday Monday. Newcastle got brushed aside. We're hanging on in that title race like Callum Wilson's tooth was hanging out last season, people. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bless.